Day 494 of not cutting my hair until Arne Slot does not say something infuriating in a press conference. Hello and welcome to Anfield Agenda, and welcome to day 494 of the United Strand not getting a haircut. Just absolute beautiful scenes, isn't it? Like, how? The man's just never going to get a haircut, is he? Like, they were playing West Ham. The opportunity to win the fifth game in a row was never going to come better than that, and they somehow bottled it. It's just absolutely beautiful. In all seriousness, no hate towards Frank at all. I think he's a lovely fella from what I've seen. I'm sure he will be a little bit delighted deep down that this still is continuing. The numbers he's been doing is ridiculous. I think he had over 250,000 people watching him live last night, which is insane. Like, the whole world is obsessed with one man getting a haircut or not. It's just, what a time to be alive, lads. Anyway, we are here for non-hair related issues. We're here to talk about some of Arne Slot's quotes from the embargoed press conference last night. We're going to look at some of the links to the LeBron James of soccer. That is, of course, Christian Pulisic of AC Milan. We're going to take a look towards tonight's game against Sunderland, have a look at the table after Chelsea and Manchester United did drop points last night in what was a huge boost to our chances of getting Champions League football. Craig will be live from 7 PM this evening for our watch along, so please, by all means, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on that one. You will be notified to when that goes live, so please hit the subscribe button and join us from 7 PM for Liverpool versus Sunderland. Some breaking news as well. It just broke before I started recording. Spurs have sacked Thomas Frank. He is gone. 5 points above relegation they're sitting currently. His record at Spurs, I have it here in front of me. He has 38 games, 13 wins, 11 draws and 14 losses. It's no surprise, really, is it? And I think Roberto De Zerbi has left Marseille as well, so it'll be interesting to see, do Spurs make a move for De Zerbi? That would be where my money would be at. There was part of me wondering, like, if Slot had been sacked, I could really see him at Spurs. Like, Spurs wanted him a couple of years ago as well, and I think he might end up there someday, to be fair, but I think Spurs have now sacked Thomas Frank, so I'd imagine they will move for De Zerbi. Or if not, like, do you reckon if they do get someone in on like an interim basis, and then we do let Arne Slot go in the summer, do you reckon he could end up at Spurs? Because I could definitely see it, and they definitely were interested previously, so I think he probably would take it as well in that scenario. So, interesting one, but yeah, Thomas Frank is sacked. That is now Real Madrid, Chelsea, Man United and Spurs, who've all sacked their managers mid-season. Clubs can't sack managers mid-season, we all know that, obviously. Anyway, let's get on to some of the quotes from the press conference. So Arne Slot has been speaking in his embargoed section of the press conference. Just one day, lads, one day I want to get up and not have to read out Arne Slot quotes, because it just annoys me. And like, I fully understand the fact that it probably annoys me more because I kind of have to do it for my job, you know what I mean? Like, if I was just a Liverpool fan who wasn't making content, I could just ignore this, but it's kind of just thrown into my face every day and I kind of have to go through it. So, talking about whether Liverpool miss Luis Diaz or not, he said, "You always miss good football players. He was so important for us last season, but he wasn't the only one. There were more players that were influential in our results, but I think we have replaced them with very good players as well. Luis Diaz is another example of how this club is run. If this club gets for a 28-year-old an offer like that, then this club, because it is built on sustainability, chooses to sell a player, and we are an exception in the Premier League, especially at the top of the Premier League for that. But that is why it is also nice that we are able to achieve things we have achieved in the last few years with that model. But he is doing very well at Bayern, and that is not a surprise to me." So is this Arne kind of having a dig at the club almost, or saying like we're a selling club almost? Because like, I think, look, £75 million or whatever it was, I think at the time I was happy to take it, to be honest. Like, I think some of the rewriting of history around Luis Diaz as well, like, of course he was a fantastic player for us. I'm not here to slag him off at all, but like, people make out as if he was doing the numbers he's doing at Bayern with us last year. Like, I remember a large chunk of last year where fans were just slating him every week, wanting him dropped, wanting this, that and the other. Like, just, let's not rewrite history here. Like, he wasn't like the be-all and end-all of the team. Very good player on his day, of course, and again, I'm not here to slag him off. Like, I love Luis Diaz, but I think the number we did get to, I think, was a 65 or 75, whatever it was. I remember being happy with it at the time, and there was a sell-on clause included as well, because he's more than likely going to end up in Saudi in a couple of years as well, so maybe there's another 10 or 15 million to come our way as well. So I think ultimately it was a good deal. He wanted to leave as well, so I think can't really blame the club for selling him. I don't think Arne is trying to blame the club here, in all honesty. Anyway, I think he was just asked a question about him, but yeah, look, we could definitely do him this year. Like, we could do with more tricky wide players, and he certainly would fall into that category. So we do miss him, but I don't think it's quite as much as people try to make out now that we're bad this season, basically. Slot was then basically asked whether Champions League qualification is kind of paramount to him retaining his job next year, I suppose, and he said, "That is again a difficult question for me to answer, because I don't decide on my future. The only thing I do know is that it happened here before and recently, and it didn't affect the future of that manager, but that doesn't guarantee anything, of course." Of course, he's referring to Jurgen Klopp there. "In general, with managers, especially at this club, maybe somewhere else it is mainly, but not only, about results. They also look at the progress the players make, the progress the team makes, and the circumstances are sometimes taken into account. That is not at all clubs, but I think I am working at a club that does look at these things, as it has shown in the past when the club did not qualify for the Champions League. Now, I have no doubt that's correct. I'm sure the club will take a more holistic view at all this to see like where the club is at, what are the negatives against the manager, like in terms of like bad injuries, let's say, or different circumstances around squad management, things like this. But ultimately, like he's saying there about improving players and stuff, I don't think you could list off a huge amount of players who have benefited from Arne Slot. Like, fair enough, Curtis Jones got better. Ryan Gravenberch, to be fair, maybe like he got slotted into that number 6 position where he wasn't usually being used before, and he was fantastic last year. Has fallen off slightly this year, but still a fantastic player, so you could argue him as well. And there probably is a few others as well, to be fair, but I don't think it's like he's brought on players leaps and bounds, and especially when it comes to the young talent, like he's not really nurturing them in the way that we would like to see. He continued then, I think he was pretty much asked like if Champions League qualification would constitute a good season, and he said that's a difficult one because if I say yes, then I can already see the headlines. Arne Slot thinks he's had a good season if he's going to the Champions League, he said. It's important to know what is whatever else that has happened, because if you talk about whatever else, we could come up with 6 or 7 things. He's doing the 6-7 meme now. I'm not sure everyone is always aware of all of these things. I think you've noticed I'm not standing here and coming out with all these excuses. But the maximum we can achieve right now is qualifying for the Champions League, and that's always what we aim for, to achieve the maximum possible at this moment in time. It wasn't the maximum possible at the start of the season, but at this moment of time it is the maximum we can achieve. Paul Joyce was then writing about this section of the press conference, and he said that Arne Slot believes his future as Liverpool's head coach does not rest solely on qualifying for next season's Champions League, even though he conceded the failure to do so would be unacceptable. While winning matches, it's imperative again for a team that has only won 6 of their past 20 league games. Let me repeat that. We've won 6 of our last 20 league games. 6 in 20. Slot's subsequent comments indicate that the sporting director Richard Hughes will scrutinise more than simply results. The process is more holistic than Champions League or else. And again, that is from Paul Joyce. So look, you can make up your own minds on that. Like, is that a positive or negative for him? I'd imagine like a lot of circumstances, of particularly like of course Jota passing away, and maybe some players we looked for in the summer and didn't get. Like, I'm sure Richard Hughes will take this stuff into account when he is kind of making his report on the whole thing, as to maybe there are some chips kind of stacked against Arne Slot this season. But ultimately, again, like we're not blind. Like, we see the results just aren't good enough. We see the performances aren't good enough, and yeah, ultimately it's just not going in the right direction. So for me, there's still a hell of a lot more in the negative column than the positive column for Arne Slot at Liverpool. But look, today is match day. Let's just focus on putting good energy and good vibes towards the team. Hopefully we can get a result tonight, particularly after United and Chelsea did drop points. 5 points behind Chelsea in 5th and 6 points behind United in 4th. So a win would really put us back up there into the chase. We'll be neck and neck with them. Let's hope in the next few weeks as well we can start to pull a bit of distance away from the likes of Brentford, Everton, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Sunderland. Like, if Sunderland beat us tonight, they're level with us, by the way. Like, this is dire straits. They're in 11th. If they beat us, they're level with us. So we really can't afford to be dropping any more points. We need to keep up with Chelsea and United, and we need to start putting distance between us and the rest of the chasing pack. Like, we need to make sure it is just a race between 3 teams and not a race between like 4 or 5 teams. Like, it's going to be tough enough as it is, but we can't be allowing the likes of Brentford or Newcastle to be starting to get back into this race, because honestly we have enough to be worrying about. We have enough teams to be hoping to drop points. So yeah, let's just win tonight and then we can go from there, really. Let's take a quick little trip now. We're going to just fly away off into the sunset to a lovely place called Bullshit Island. So this from Tuto McCartho Webb said Liverpool are keen on signing AC Milan winger Christian Pulisic in the summer, who's valued at €55 million. The LeBron James of soccer could be coming to Liverpool. He's not coming to Liverpool, is he? Like, that's just never going to happen. We had our chance to sign Pulisic when he was like 18 or 19. We're not going to go spunk £50 million on him now. So yeah, firmly throw that one over. Just put that into a paper airplane and fly it off to Bullshit Island, because it's just never happening, is it? Like, he's just not good enough, and I think the club have moved past Christian Pulisic at this point. That's all from me this morning anyway. If you have enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Like I said, Craig will be live from 7 PM this evening for Sunderland versus Liverpool. Make sure to join us for that one. I think there'll be a news video at some point in the afternoon as well, maybe about 4, half 4, so keep an eye out for that as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.